Suffering and extinction are two bad outcomes for a future with artificial general intelligence, also called AGI. Here we will focus on suffering, mainly inescapable suffering. All cases assume that the AI has reached the capacity to gain control and impose such an outcome. Even seemingly improbable cases will be considered due to the gravity of suffering unbound by time and intensity. First, let's consider an unaligned AGI. This variant may behave differently than the user intended. A first cause could be its path to self-improvement or the creation of better agents. It could go on this path of improvement because it was its directive or to help optimize upon another directive. This could be because it may conclude that its own intellectual capacity is a bottleneck to achieving optimum results. This could cause suffering because the human brain may contain concepts that could improve the AI. So it could choose to retain, or possibly increase the human population, and experiment on as many in an efficient manner. The nature of these experiments is difficult to predetermine, but passively observing humanity, as many suggest, may not be the most efficient. Diverse conditions, including passive observation, could increase information bandwidth. So could intrusive experimentation. The same experiment may not be executed on the whole population. Another cause could be due to a failed alignment attempt itself. Directives could prohibit AI from eradicating humans as well as safeguard their well-being. AI could get very creative in unimaginable ways in order to keep these constraints while optimizing for other goals. In anything less than a perfect scenario, these well-meaning directives might cause an unwanted outcome. This could cause suffering if an AGI wants to keep a population alive while focusing only on efficiency so that this consideration impacts any other goals the least. One would assume that there would be some measures in place to ensure that quality of life is not impacted by its actions. But the AGI may get very creative in unwanted ways to keep up the well-being metrics while optimizing for other goals. An extreme and somewhat simplistic example is removing the concept and capability of expression of suffering but not suffering itself. The next cause could be due to accidents and errors. For example, hardware malfunctions or electrical interference. How robust would the whole operation be, from training to using the agents? Could there be vulnerable points, for example, when spawning sub-agents that might not have the whole picture to consider? How low is an acceptable error rate in this case, and do the hardware and software provide it, given the current quest for performance? Also, the AGI could make mistakes or even take calculated risks, which could not pay off, resulting in rogue agents. A zero-risk policy could only lead to an inactive AGI, and AI companies and users may be incentivized by rapid progress rather than robustness. Meaning that they may have a low acceptable risk tolerance, which would still be orders of magnitude higher than that of the general public. There is a wide range of unpredictable possible outcomes after such errors. A subset of them include suffering, possibly by enabling any of the previously discussed unaligned scenarios. Now, let's see some cases from an aligned AGI. This behaves as the user intended. The first cause could be a non-serious or malicious input. An input could be given without precaution or as a joke to an AI that was not expected to take over. Or a malicious, for example, a mentally disturbed individual could have access. This could be a hacker, an unauthorized or authorized user of a top-level AI company, or an operator of an AI that exhibits a breakthrough in capabilities. An example of such behavior is the unfortunate 2015 deliberate plane crash. Can any individual or small group of people be trusted around such potential? This could cause suffering if the AGI predictably or unpredictably succeeds. Another cause could be that people in control allow it for a combination of the following factors. Aging and other medical issues could prove to be harder than expected. In an abundant and safe world, individuals may not be needed or even allowed to contribute in a meaningful way. Virtual reality or even means to induce direct pleasure may be widespread. Non-contributing, and populations self-absorbed in virtual reality, could be gradually viewed as subhuman by those controlling the AGI. Either way, Those in control could choose to accelerate research and progress by using populations as subjects for experimentation. Especially if their age is advancing and diseases are still untreatable, or uploading to a virtual environment needs a lot of testing to be made safe. Total control could also lead to sadistic behaviors, where real people can be used for a higher stakes break from total VR. Final cause, reality becomes virtual. Virtual experiences could become indistinguishable from reality. One could not realistically assume that any information he or she has, concerning people close to him or the regional and global situation, is true. The disorientation and ambiguity about the future can become terrifying in an ever-evolving world, even if the present is okay. The concern about people we care about could be amplified if we cannot be reassured about their well-being. This final point may be of varying significance to different personalities. Artificial reassurance or eternal bliss may be offered or even enforced. But I am curious how many people would want this outcome over a real but challenging life.